are the biodegradable baddies. The Hitchcock Center and UMass campus is located on the unceded homelands of the Pecumtuck Nation and on the land of the Norwottuck community. After 400 years of colonization, the Pecumtuck peoples were displaced. Many joined their Algonquin relatives to the east, north, west, and south. That includes the Mashpee and Aquinnah-Wampanoag, Nipmuc, Narragansett, Mohegan, Pequot, Mohican, Abenaki, and other nations of the Wabanaki Confederacy. They are still here, and it is imperative that we treat this land and rivers with the respect and love that it deserves. Once at the center, we had a look around at all the taxidermy of the local flora and fauna, and not to mention the variety of very alive rescue animals we got to meet there as well. That was when we met Barb Gilbert, and she is the office manager and volunteer coordinator, and she gave us the official tour of the place, starting, of course, with the water filtration system. Barb explained to us how the center funnels rainwater from the roof down into a filter that strains out the particulates and dirt and sends it into the holding tanks for initial use. But once the tanks are full, the excess water gets stored in the underground reservoir to be saved for when it is not raining and more water is needed. However, all water eventually travels through their impressive basement filtration system before use. We're going into restricted access zone, guys.
Actually, a lot of people get to go down. It's a very high-tech basement.
Oh, wow.
And high-tech it was. The basement filter system was complex. However, despite the UV light filters and all the carbon filters, the water department still did not approve of it for drinking due to the water standard of Mass, stating that water needs to be 99% pure, and you can only really get that by adding chlorine into the water. Working around this issue, however, poses other challenges that the center would then have to combat while keeping the net zero output goal in mind. Also in the basement, Barb showed us their expansive energy storage, where all electricity from their solar panels up above is saved for use. The last stop on the basement part of our tour, Barb showed us the compost bins where all toilet waste is excreted to. But speaking of toilets, their toilets only use 2 tablespoons of water to flush due to their soap foam flushing system, where foam is used to slide the waste into the compost bin and leave the toilet smelling nice and clean.
It's a cool toilet. And with that, our tour was finished and it was time to get to work. Our volunteer work involved us sanding and repainting some benches and chairs for the center to use for the summer. After a quick lunch, we headed back to start our second task, to weed out some invasive mugwort that had really taken over their field. However, we were barely able to make a dent in it before it started sleeting. Luckily, though, we were still able to help because Barb then showed us to a whole pile of old paper that we needed to shred before putting into the composter. And we totally didn't break it multiple times. But then our journey came to an end. We learned a lot, had some fun, and made new friends.